Greetings, greetings, greetings once again. James Lee McFarland here, also known as Gentleman Jim. Today I'm going to give you some pointers on coat, jacket, fit, styles, occasions. Now, I just got back from doing Mimi G's conference out in LA. Had a marvelous, wonderful time. I gave the ladies there tips on jacket construction, jacket fit, do's and don'ts that we tailors use. Now, that conference is now being loaded up into my Gumroad accounts. You can go to Gumroad and get all that I told them and showed them at the conference. Remember, go to Gumroad. Now, there are several types of jackets that women wear. Jackets, coats, call it whatever you want, but we're talking about not an outer coat. Now, your typical ladies' jacket that is either worn as a jacket, a suit coat, or whatever, is your typical two-button, notch lapel, blazer type jacket. Now, what makes a blazer is only the buttons. So when you hear a person say blazer, the only differential is the buttons. So don't get hung up on is it a blazer or is it a jacket. It's just the buttons that make it different. But this is your typical jacket that is worn by most women. Then you have kind of what they used to call a Chanel look, which is usually a squared off jacket. It's usually shorter. And then you have a jacket that could be worn either dressy or sporty. Now, here's a pointer that you should always remember. Most of the time, if you buy a jacket, it's always too big in certain areas. And usually that area is in the shoulder area and up here on the chest cavity area. It's always too big. But when you're making it, always remember, reduce the size of the shoulders. This which reduces the area across the chest. If you reduce that, reduce it before you make it up. Don't make it up and then want to reduce it. Easiest way to do that, get you a jacket that you like the way it fits and measure. I always tell people sewing is a game of numbers. It's all about the numbers. So if the shoulder width, say it's 4.5, 5 inches, make sure that when you cut your garment out, the finish is that same width. Then you don't have to worry about it being too wide and having to come back and shorten it up. Now, one thing that ladies make a big mistake on, they wear the sleeves of the jacket too long. The sleeve should always stop at the bend of the wrist, which is right here. When you wear the sleeve way down here, it's too long. You don't want to wear it up above your wrist bone, then it's too short. When you're making it, once again, get you a jacket that you like the way the sleeve length finishes. Measure it. Then when you cut your pattern, cut it the length that you need plus your seam allowance. Don't forget your seam allowance. Now here's another thing. When you leave the seam allowance, don't get skimpy on it. You're going to throw the material away. Make sure you at least have 2 inches in the turn-up. This allows for if you ever want to make it a little longer, just a little bit longer, you have something to turn up. Shortening it is no problem. But the sleeve length, the shoulder width, across the chest cavity, you want to make sure that there's a nice clean fit up there. The rest of it gets sculpted to your body. You don't want it too big in the body because then the jacket looks too big. If it's a short jacket or you wear it shorter, you want it to flatter your body. So you want to make sure that the length hits in a certain position. Now, best way to do that, once again, go buy something that you already have. If you already have a jacket, say, ooh, I like this fit. Measure it. Don't guess at it. Measure it so that when your finished length, it's that length. When you get to a little fancier jacket, wherever it is, try and make sure you do the same thing because some of these are cut and shaped different. So let's remember that. Shoulder width, across the chest line area, and sleeve length. Jacket length. Those are the most important things on a fit. The style always has to fit the occasion that you're going to wear the jacket at. Thank you once again, James Lee McFarland. As usual, Gentleman Jim here. Thank you very much.